Dear viewer, good evening and welcome tonight. With me tonight, the founder of the Arab American Civil Rights League, Attorney Nabih Ayat. Nabih Ayat, welcome to MEA again.
Thank you, Wally. Glad to be here.
We're going to talk about the ACRL, and then after that we'll have a lot of questions about what happened in Gaza and the Arab American who are stuck in Gaza and the ACRL role of getting them back. So tell me, when did you found the ACRL?
We found the Arab American Civil Rights League in November of 2011, Wally. Why I found it, I've been in civil rights. I was appointed Civil Rights Commissioner of the state by our former Governor Granholm at the time. And I've been very much involved with other organizations, civil rights, chairman of the advisory board for ADC for about 8 years, on the national executive board for ADC as well. But what we found was after 9/11, in the tragic terrorist attacks of 9/11, 10 years later, Arab Americans were now more unpopular than they were immediately after 9/11. And we felt that's a very dangerous trend, and that was not good. Instead of waiting for Washington and others to give us approved, a lot of these cases really needed us to jump on them and move on them. And despite the internal whatever situation with ADC at the time, I decided to form the Arab American Civil Rights League, put a phenomenal board on, as well as yourself, Wally, and started attacking issues. We had many issues that we were dealing with. We handled cases such as the only football case in the country where kids playing football on a football field were criminally charged.
Yes.
Handled cases from the no-fly list. We changed the law on the no-fly list. The individuals that were stuck outside the United States can't get back in the United States. On the case of Muqdad versus the Attorney General, we were able to successfully change the no-fly list in this region of the country. We also handled the bank closures case against the financial institutions that were discriminating against Arab and Chaldean business owners. This was another new law change in this region of the country. So we've done all these because, we felt that there's absolute a need for this community, and we wanted to change this a stereotype that's been happening since 9/11 and protect and level the playing field for Arab and Chaldean Americans in the region.
Nabih, as a civil rights attorney, and we look at the community at large, and we see the American are naive about the culture and about the history of all the ethnic minorities in Michigan and the nation, and especially with the stereotype of about the Arab American, in Hollywood and all the movies and all the media that put us that we are still living how we were 14 years ago, 15 years ago. Okay, and you have honestly a hard task, you and the board as a civil rights attorney. Are you defending a lot of cases? But are you local for Michigan, or you are nationwide?
No, we are nationwide, Wally. We've had cases around the country. I can't tell you how many times I get on the phone with the executive director, whether it be an attorney from Florida that has his client locked up, which he feels as an American attorney, feeling that his client has been discriminated against because she is of Arab nationality, or from California, or from Chicago, or New York. So we have take cases around the country. We've helped cases around the country. The last one being in Los Angeles, and the one before being in by Tampa, Florida. Every day we're taking on cases of big nature. The last one right now, I know we're going to talk about this later. We've put a group of attorneys together, over 20 attorneys around the country, to help these folks. We picked up a couple of cases yesterday from LA County and Los Angeles and California. Plaintiffs are stuck, family are stuck in Gaza. Others are
talking about the Arab American. As I mentioned, the media, the situation, and we seen our president with supporting in Israel, blind supporting to the Israel, without knowing the issue, without knowing the cases and all that. They do that for election, and we see in the country divided, and we have two running for office. One of them a crook, and the other one, he doesn't know what he's talking about. All what he do, okay, what's good for this election, and he doesn't care about the people. And we seen what happened in Chicago with the little kid, A landlord, he jumped on them because they are Muslim, okay, and stabbed the kids 26 times, and stabbed the mother 4 or 5 times, okay, and the kids has died. What's the fault of this kid? What happened overseas?
Yes.
So are you involved in all these as an organization?
We like to think, Wally, that as a civil rights organization, we do try to, take away from stereotypes, level the playing field, educate the community and the public at large and government, and let them know that, whatever you're seeing either on Hollywood or the politics of things and around the nation and how they portray Muslims and Arabs, especially after 9/11, it was always not so good. But as you know, 9/11 made it really, really hard for this community because we started becoming portrayed as individuals that use terrorism or violence to get what they want. And it's very unfortunate because, as you know, the Arab American per capita in this nation is the most educated, most wealthiest in the nation. And we don't have to apologize to anybody for that, Wally, because they are doing a great job. They're good businessmen, smart businessmen, from Steve Jobs on all the way to the landing on the lunar landing on the moon, first putting the first man on the moon. We have U.S. military ships named after Arab Americans. A lot of the general public don't see that. What they see is Hollywood portrayal, the violence, because you see the Gulf War, you see the two Gulf War, what's going on in the Middle East now. You see the Syrian war, and it seems as if conflict is always around that region, and it's unfortunate. And that's kind of what happens when you keep a certain people down for so long. Eventually, people are gonna rise up, and no one is condoning. We will never condone any kind of violence against innocent civilians by all means. I don't care who's doing it.
Yes.
Every life is precious. So it's very unfortunate what has unfolded now in the last few weeks here in the Middle East, and it's sad. Breaks my heart to see all the death and destruction that's happening to all, all people, all humankind. And we have to be mindful. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than constant violence every few, years or decades where this, it starts up again.
There's a lot of protests in Michigan and nationwide. Are the Arab American Civil Rights League part of that?
Well, yes. I mean, we are absolutely a part of that. We have supported demonstrations, peace for Palestine, free Palestine, things of that nature. Absolutely. What we don't support is, any kind of, again, action against innocent civilians. We never support that.
That including Israeli, Arab, and too bad, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you ask yourself, what is the definition of a terrorist? And, when you go and attack, civilians, I'm saying, I don't care what side you are, you're brown, black, Hispanic, Arab, Muslim, Jewish, you can't do that. I'm saying? You just simply cannot do that, especially with innocent individuals that are taken and being killed.
We see in the media, the American media, a bias, okay, toward the conflict and between Israel and Palestine. Okay. Are you guys doing something, reaching to those media to give your viewpoint? Because they sound that all the Arab, they don't care about the loss of the Israeli children and women and all that. And here you mention, okay, we are against all the killing, if it's from the Arab, from Israel, from anywhere. So are you reaching to the media to, raise your voice?
Yeah, absolutely, Wally. I mean, I can't tell you on how many cases we've done to address stereotypical statements made by journalists, statements made by school teachers, statements made by county clerks, things of that nature. I can tell you the last one on the invasion of Ukraine, and the reporter, national reporter, came on the news. Actually, it was international, and said, I think it was from CBS, that these are Ukrainian people. They're not like Iraq or something. These are civilized people.
That's
meaning,
right.
people in Iraq are not civilized, but the Ukrainians are civilized. See how the judge, this is what happens when you dehumanize and you put down a certain group of people, it becomes okay to treat them in a certain fashion. So it becomes okay to take them, kill them, do whatever you want with them. And we've seen the danger after World War II and what Hitler did and what he called out the Jews and what have you. And it's unfortunate because now we see this happening here. I mean, when of course there's atrocities that happened, but when you up it and you're saying you're beheading babies and you're raping women, then when you say that, you're saying that these people are animals, and if they're animals, it's okay to kill them, slaughter them, and everything else.
Yes,
that's a real danger in that. We have to be very accurate and a fair balance at what's going on. I mean, the other day, they bombarded a hospital, for God's sake, 500
about 700-800 people.
Yeah, and how can you justify that? Are you going to continuously say that there's Hamas people in there? So I mean, it's like a gang goes on, does something in LA. Well, let's surround LA and just bombard the hell out of LA and just kill everybody because there may be some gangsters in there, and let's just get them. I mean, that's not the way to treat people. That is absolutely horrific. And there's a one-sided balance. And again, the unconditional support of the United States to our ally Israel, I think, is at fault. We should not ever unconditionally support anybody. When they do wrong, we must tell our friends, you're doing wrong. Stop it. Saying there's other ways to address these issues. We don't have to go kill 1,000 innocent lives because one person died from the other side. It's just fundamentally wrong.
Absolutely. And there's a good percentage of the American, they supporting because they see injustice and that biased media. Okay. But we have to work more. We have to lobby more. We have to have a strong voice in Washington so they could hear us. The American people, they have a good heart. And if you explain what the other side doing to them throughout 50, 60 years, they will understand that. But we need to reach to those politicians. We have to reach to those media to explain ourselves.
No, I totally agree. And I totally agree with that statement. The American people do have a big heart. And, that's why we all came to this country, to escape the situation in the Middle East. I came here, my mom came here, took me when I was 4.5 years old for her 6 children to escape the Civil War. They didn't want part of that. They don't want the violence. That's why people leave. So, yeah, absolutely. And, if it wasn't for this country, I could not be a lawyer or my brother a doctor and what have you. There's absolutely no way in the old country. With that being said, it is the media that control the media. Sometimes is controlled by some people that they don't really have the United States interests best at heart. In all sincerity, they have their own interests at heart, and their own interests may not be in line with the United States' interest at heart. Of course, the United States needs an ally in the Middle East, and they have friends, and they have allies. But to sit there and just give them a carte blanche to drop as much bombs and blow up as many buildings and kill as many people because you are our ally is just not right.
Absolutely, absolutely. We know there is a lot of Arab American stuck in Gaza. Okay, and the American government, I don't think they care about them. Okay, just like they don't care about the children and the women and the elderly that dying every day in Gaza and Palestine. Not just in Gaza, we're talking the whole Palestine for many hundreds of years. Okay, so are you involved in getting those Arab American who are stuck in Gaza to bring them to the United States?
Absolutely, Wally. As I did in 2006 when Israel was bombarding South Lebanon, I brought a lawsuit. I had 340 plaintiffs, had 16 attorneys working with me, and brought a team to sue the Secretary of State at that time and Secretary of Defense, Donald Rumsfeld and Condoleezza Rice. And we're saying that, here you are shipping satellite-guided missiles to Israel, while you have 40,000 United States citizens on the ground, and they're using these missiles to bombard your own citizens. That's wrong. When you took office, you swore to uphold, to protect United States citizens here and abroad. That was 2006. Now you fast forward to now, 2023, and look what we're doing with right now. We have, again, the United States, Israel using United States weapon to bombard, their own citizens in Gaza. So what we're asking for, we brought a lawsuit here. ACRL took the lead, as well as other organizations that joined, like ADC and others. We have, a number of plaintiffs. We set up a hotline that people can call to whoever is affected by this. We've secured a group of volunteer attorneys, over 20 attorneys from around the country. We have now in California, Houston, and other areas, Chicago, New York, and we're working around the clock to help bring these people back. We filed a federal complaint, again, against the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State Blinken, saying, again, you have the ability and the relationship with such a close friend, no closer friend than the
Well, you
state
fund them billions of dollars with not asking
for $1 billion.
Yeah.
You can tell them, give them a way out for United States citizens. Now, we hope we can help all the innocent people in Gaza, but we can't. But we'll try to do what we could. And what we could is the federal system, and now in order to apply equal protections, you're evacuating United States citizens of Israeli descent from Israel, but yet you're not evacuating United States citizens of Palestinian descent in Gaza. And the fact that 90% of the border is really controlled by Israel, you can find a damn way to get these people to the border to get them out. They've been telling them go, and even with the Egyptian, the other border is with Egypt, and Egypt ally as well as the United States. We said you could talk to these countries as your friends, as your allies, allow United States at the border to be removed. That's easily done. We're talking about hundreds of people, maybe over 1,000 United States citizens are stuck there. That being said,
how many Arab American? What do you think the number? Yeah.
If we feel that there's over probably 700 to 1,200 U.S. citizens.
That's a big number, yeah.
In Gaza. And they tell them, we reached out to the State Department, reached out to the Senator's office, reached out to congressional offices. No one had a plan how to get U.S. citizens out. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? This is why we put a complaint together within the same day, filed it, went up before the federal court. We had a federal court hearing 2 days ago. We have another federal court hearing after this Zoom meeting with Federal Judge Kumar to see what is going on. What is the government doing to get these people out? That being said, Wally, again, we feel that the United States has the power and ability to have a safe haven for these United States citizens to get them out. They asked them to go to the Rafah border. They did go to this Egyptian border crossing. They won't let them in. He's win again. They won't let them in. So it's been 4 or 5 times now that they've been stuck there. Again, no food, hardly no. They're running out of water. My client is is out of Livonia. We have some in California. Again, it's just a horrible way for the United States citizens to not even give any guidance, a plan to get these United States citizens out.
I see. If there's a family in a nation, Texas or California or anywhere else, that they have a loved one stuck in Israel. They went vacation to see their relative or their friend and is stuck. Can they be in contact with you? And what's the number that they could reach you and reach the ACRL, the Arab American Civil Rights, so hopefully they get their loved one out of the war?
Wally, we do have a number. It's 888. I believe it's 806 evac for short for evacuation, but I have it on my phone, and I'm using my phone for the Zoom today, Wally. So maybe if we get off, I'll definitely give that number over to you before
Can they go to ACRL website?
Absolutely.
And find the number and do you have a link there for those families who got people stuck in Gaza?
Absolutely. If you just go down, you type in Arab American Civil Rights League, you see the website, and you just go in there. We have the hotline,
and we're gonna put it in a slide so they could reach.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Nabih, you've been here for 50 years, but you always have that relation, have that real news about what happened in the Middle East. Do you think that war is going to take a long time? Do you think Lebanon or Jordan or other country will be involved in this war? And at the end, where do you see that going?
Unfortunately, Wally, I do see this taking some time. As you know, it would have been difficult if there was no hostages because of all the tunnels and everything. But the fact that there is 150 hostages, Israel and US, giving the tunnels, and they're going to have to go basically door to door. You can't just bombard and just you level the whole strip of Gaza. They're still underground, so it's going to take some time. With all that being said, you see the tensions are happening around the world with the Palestinian Authority leader refusing to meet with President Biden, as well as the King of Jordan.
Jordan and Egypt.
And you see now the U.S. Embassy basically under attack in Lebanon. You see the tensions rising with Hezbollah as well as Iran, and the threats are going everywhere. So I pray to God it doesn't. We already see there's some military action in Lebanon with the border of Israel, and it's, we're praying to God that this doesn't grow bigger than what it is now, because again, more lives will be lost. But again, I'm hoping that there's somehow, some way there could be. I just don't see with the history and the mindset of the Netanyahu administration, and given their history of with how they deal with Palestinians, and given that the United States kind of gives them, like I said, the carte blanche to do what they want. I don't see this resolving in a peaceful manner or resolution, Wally.
With the far right government in Israel, leading by Netanyahu, and we know the history of the Netanyahu. He don't mind to killing all the people around him. So for him to have the power to control the area.
Absolutely. And then with the Netanyahu situation, I mean, there's a lot of politics that play. I mean, I know he was under the heat with some of the looking to charge him and things of that nature.
Yes.
But again, it's just it's a very sad situation, Wally.
Yeah. Nabih, as the chairman and the founder of the Arab American Civil Rights League, what's your message? We broadcast in every state in the nation. And I know there is, Arab American, Middle Eastern American, in almost every state in the nation. What's your message to them? And I want you to be persistent in that, because everybody looking for somebody for advice, what they should do. Everybody is tight, don't know what to do. He's feeling about their life and their children's life. He's feeling about their children in the school and what the reaction is going to happen to them.
Yeah. Well, I think, Wally, we should take this opportunity to let everyone know that, first of all, for the Palestinian people in the Middle East, that we do care. We do care. We can do it by peaceful means, by whether it be demonstrating, whether it be sending letters, calling your congressional and U.S. Senate office, explaining to them that you don't want war. You want peace. You want a ceasefire. You want this to be resolved in a more amicable fashion. That's one. We could try to help and call for humanitarian aid to these people that are stuck in Gaza, which I think it will take some pressure off and take some of the heat off. I think that's why the president said there would be $100 million worth of food that's going to be shipped, humanitarian shipped into.
Yeah, but $10 billion to Israel. 100 million, but 10 billion to Israel.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for humanitarian food instead of food supplies, what have you. But again, the idea is that we have to listen. If anything has showed us in the 75 years that Israel has, basically occupied basically Palestine, violence is not the way. It's never worked. It hasn't worked.
Absolutely.
And, it tells you if it's not working in this fashion, change it, fix it, because violence, it's not. If you think you're going to keep hitting these Palestinians and you're going to keep hitting them and to the time that you're just going to, stop, that's not working. It's just simply not working. In fact, what you're doing is you're creating people that are going to uprise. You're creating monsters. You're creating terrorists. I like to use the example with my law enforcement people when we sit at these meetings. I'm saying a terrorist knows this. A terrorist knows I don't have to sit there and hit you every day as a terrorist. I hit you once or twice. You come back, like say the 9/11 terrorists. Yeah. They killed 3,400 U.S. citizens. They went back. The United States basically demolished the country, killed 1 million people, overthrew the president and hung them, and then said, "Oh, this was a mistake." They saw that they have nothing to do with it. But when you did that, if I was for the United States, if I was for Israel, if I was for the West, if I was a supporter of that, if I go to bed one night and I wake up, there's a bomb that falls on my home and kills my entire family. I wake up the next morning. Who do you think now I'm going to take sides with or sympathize with?
Absolutely.
You're going to rate the terror,
Yes.
the combatants, the individuals that are going to be against U.S. interests. And that's why the bombings, just unconditional bombings everywhere. What are you doing besides killing many civilians and create people that are going to absolutely have a hate for the rest of their life for Israel and the United States?
Yeah. But Nabih, there are some families in some states, they don't have the organization, they don't have strong Arab American, they don't have organization like you, okay, to call, to complain. They are fearing, they are in fear. They cannot sleep. They fear of sending their children to school. They might some children who are brainwashed by that radical media, okay, to harm them. What's your message to those people?
So listen, one I would say, I know the law enforcement is well alert. There's got to be, one, to stay alert. That's number one. And if you see something that is not simply that's not right, or you fear for your safety, to have somebody, whether it be 911 or your family or somebody to call that could be immediately to protect you. I know law enforcement has been stepping up their security around, the religious institutions and schools and things of that nature. We all have to be, steadfast and understanding and protecting our fellow neighbor. So that's one, Wally. The other thing is that, honestly, for them not to feel such hatred and not to feel so compelled or angered by what they see, is for them to look at non-American normal media channels, like the MEA TV, like maybe the outside news channels or the big Al Jazeera, what have you, because I think they'll get a different viewpoint. They would see, for instance, they don't really show you much of the demonstrations that are going on around the world in support of the Palestinian cause and Gaza and things of this nature. They don't show you. All they show you is that, the terrorist acts and the horrific acts of, what happened on on October 7th. So, what you can basically say is, listen, we all have to be careful. We're all in this together. And if they see something or something that is not right, they need to be in touch with their local organization as well as their law enforcement agents to make sure that they're protected, Wally.
Well, honestly, thank you so much, Nabih, for your role defending the civil rights and having the justice for the Arab American. I'm very proud to say that you are the vice chairman of MEA Advisory Board, and thanks so much for the role that the Arab American civil rights are playing, in protecting the civil right of the Arab American. Thank you so much for all that.
Thank you so much, Wally. And Wally, if I could just give you a number to our executive director.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Any issues, please. She's been working around the clock as well. And I'm going to give you, they can call directly on her cell phone as well. So 313-290-1403. That's our executive director, Miriam Sharara. She's been taking calls, helping families around the country, and with this hotline as well, to making sure that people that are stuck there, we can add them and notify the senator's office and others, that to add more pressure to get these people out.
Great. And we're going to put the phone number and the website in the slide so people can, if there's something happening, they could reach you.
Yeah, well, also email. We have a flyer. I'm going to email you as well, sir.
Please do, so we could put it, during the interview. Nabih, yes, again, thank you so much. Especially
thank you,
to you and the board and the organization that playing the ACRL, playing a major role in protecting the civil right of not just, be honest with you, it's not just the Arab American, but the all ethnic and the community at large. Thank
Absolutely.
you for that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you, Wally, for telling our story. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye now.